My name is Elias Carter, and I was never meant to be anywhere near the front lines of an alien war. I wasn't a soldier. I wasn't a hero. I was just a repair technician. Back on Earth, before humanity joined the Interstellar Coalition, I worked in a small orbital shipyard repairing cargo drones and transport hulls. My job was simple: fix broken machines and try not to drift into space while doing it. But war changes everything. When the Valkyrie Dominion attacked several human colonies near the Outer Rim, Earth had no choice but to join the coalition. Humans were new to interstellar politics, but we had one advantage every species respected. We were good at building and fixing things. So thousands of engineers like me were recruited and sent to coalition fleets across the galaxy. That's how I ended up aboard the massive warship Sovereign Talon. And that's where I first met Commander Elithra Vex, the most dangerous commander in the fleet. Every fleet has legends. In the Coalition Navy, the biggest legend of them all was Commander Elithra. She was from a warrior species known as the Volari, tall, powerful beings with silver skin and glowing violet eyes. They were famous across the galaxy for their discipline and brutal efficiency in combat. And Elithra was the best of them. Stories about her victories circulated across the fleet like ghost tales. Entire enemy squadrons had surrendered when her ship appeared on sensors. Some said she could read battlefield movements before they happened. Others said she had never lost a fight. But everyone agreed on one thing: she was terrifying, even among her own soldiers. So when a security officer walked into my repair bay and said, "Commander Elithra requires a human technician immediately," I assumed someone else was about to have a very bad day. Unfortunately, that someone was me, summoned to the commander. 2 armored Volari guards escorted me through the ship's upper command levels. The Sovereign Talon was enormous, nearly 2 kilometers long, and its command deck felt more like a cathedral than a military bridge. When the doors opened, I saw her immediately. Commander Elithra stood near a tactical display, her towering form wrapped in dark alien armor. The plating was sleek and organic, almost like it had grown instead of being manufactured. But even from across the room, I could see something was wrong. The armor was damaged. Scorch marks ran across the chest plate. One shoulder section was cracked open, revealing flickering energy beneath. She turned when I approached. Her glowing eyes locked onto me. "You are the human technician," she said. Her voice was sharp, controlled, like a blade. "Yes, Commander," I said carefully. She stepped closer. Up close, she was even more intimidating. Nearly 7 feet tall. And the damage to her armor was worse than I thought. "You will repair this," she said. It wasn't a request. I swallowed. "Yes, Commander." The armor of a warrior. She led me into a private maintenance chamber. When the heavy doors closed, the room fell silent except for the hum of machinery. I opened my toolkit and examined the armor. "Commander, this isn't normal equipment," I said carefully. Volari armor was legendary. It was a fusion of advanced alloy and bioreactive energy shielding. Most coalition engineers weren't even allowed to touch it. Elithra's gaze narrowed. "Can you repair it?" I hesitated. Then I did what humans do best. I looked closer. The damage came from plasma impact. The outer plating had cracked, disrupting the internal energy lattice. Technically, it was alien technology, but mechanically, it wasn't that different from the shield generators I'd repaired 100 times before. "I think so," I said. A moment passed. Then she gave a small nod. "Begin." An unusual problem. There was just one issue. The damaged section was on her chest and shoulder, and the armor couldn't be removed. Volari battle armor was partially bonded to their nervous systems during combat missions. Removing it prematurely could cause neural shock, which meant I had to repair it while she was wearing it. I cleared my throat. Commander, I'll need to get close. Her violet eyes studied me. Then she stepped forward. Dear work, human. I raised my tools and carefully touched the armor. The metal was warm. Energy pulsed faintly beneath the surface. I activated a scanning probe. What is it? She asked. The energy grid inside the armor is misaligned, I explained. If I seal the crack without fixing the grid first, it'll overload the next time you take a plasma hit. And if you fix it, your armor will be stronger than before. She considered this. Then fix it. The moment everything changed. I leaned closer, adjusting the internal conduits through a narrow opening in the armor. My fingers brushed the surface as I worked. And suddenly, her voice changed. Continue, human. I froze. Her tone was different. Lower. Softer. Not the sharp command voice from before. I glanced up. Her expression was still composed, but something in her eyes had shifted. You may proceed, she clarified. Right? I muttered. I kept working. Minutes passed. I adjusted the energy lattice, welded the cracked plate, and recalibrated the shield nodes. But something strange happened during the process. She didn't move, didn't speak, just stood there quietly while I worked inches away from her. Finally, I sealed the final connection. There, I said. Try moving your arm. She lifted her arm slowly. The armor flexed smoothly. The energy grid hummed to life. Improved efficiency, she observed. About 12%, I said. For the first time, I saw the corner of her mouth shift slightly. It wasn't quite a smile, but it was close. Unexpected conversation. She didn't leave. Instead, she looked down at the repaired armor. You understand Valari technology better than most coalition engineers, she said. I understand machines, I replied. Machines are honest. She tilted her head. Explain. If something breaks, I said, it tells you exactly where the problem is. She considered this for a moment. Valari warriors believe the same about battle. I raised an eyebrow. That sounds less comforting. For a brief moment, her voice softened again. You are unusual for a human. Thanks. She studied me carefully, then said something unexpected. You will be assigned to my command division. I blinked. Wait, what? My armor will require future maintenance. That sounds dangerous. Her eyes glowed faintly. Yes. The next battle. 3 days later, the Sovereign Talon entered combat. Enemy ships appeared near a mining colony on the outer frontier. The entire fleet scrambled. From the observation deck, I watched the battle unfold. Laser fire flashed across the stars. Fighters darted between cruisers. And at the center of it all was Elithra's command ship. Her armor repair held perfectly. After the battle ended, the fleet celebrated another victory. Later that night, I returned to the maintenance chamber, and she was already there. Her armor had new scorch marks. You again? I said. You repaired it once, she replied. Now repair it again. I sighed. Of course. As I began the repairs, her voice lowered once more. Human. Yes. You did not fear touching a Valari commander. I shrugged. Honestly, Commander, I was more worried about breaking your armor. For the first time, she actually smiled. A small one, but real. You are a strange species, she said quietly, ending a new understanding. Over the next few months, I repaired her armor after every major battle. And slowly something changed. The fear I once felt around Commander Elithra disappeared. In its place grew something else. Respect. And maybe even friendship. One evening after a particularly brutal battle, she stood silently while I sealed another damaged plate. Then she spoke softly. Elias. It was the first time she used my name. Yes, Commander? Valari warriors bond through combat. I tighten the last bolt. And humans bond through creation. I stepped back. The armor gleamed again. Stronger. Perfect. She looked down at it, then at me. You rebuild what war destroys. I smiled. Someone has to. For a moment, neither of us spoke. Outside the viewport, stars drifted quietly past the warship. Then she said something I never expected. Next battle, you will remain in the command deck. Why? Her voice softened again. So you may repair the armor immediately. I laughed. That's the only reason? Her glowing eyes met mine. Yes. But something told me that wasn't the only reason at all.